The October 24th, 2011 meeting of the Public Safety Committee will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Antelli? Here. Mr. Beebe is excused. Mrs. Draw? Here. Mr. Eckel? Here. Chairman Hanna?
Here.
Mr. Lee is excused. Mr. Lightfoot is excused. Mr. McCann?
Here.
Mr. Yolovich?
Here.
Okay.
Is there anyone signed up for public forum this evening?
There is not.
Is there anyone here this evening that would like to address the committee?
Tom?
Mr. Gregory? Good evening.
I'd like to speak to the first item on the agenda, the public library, or having a library for inmates at the correctional facility. I think it's a very good idea. Education is a pacifier in any type of environment, as is agriculture actually. But the point being is that I think this program on its own is not sufficient. And that as a policy-making body, the legislative body, that perhaps this body, that this committee in particular, might like to ask the administration to see if they can tie this program into something else. For example, maybe getting a person to move from art into the more fundamental things of 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic. Or perhaps maybe if there's a program outside that's developed in sequence with this program that would receive a person after release and continue development of the individual. I think my point is simply this here. When a person is incarcerated, it's a great idea to keep somebody from us, keep them spinning their wheels while they're incarcerated so they don't get bored. But the question I think we as a society have to begin to look at is what are we going to do with, how are we going to prepare people to move from a criminal identity into a rehabilitated role. When you look at the history of this city, it's really amazing because the first canal bridge that was built here was built by inmates from Auburn Prison. And if you read the history, you're going to find out that all these inmates actually ran away. They disappeared. But guess what? I know the history of this area. There was no place for them to run to. It was wilderness, Indians, cougars, bears, and anything that would devour you. In other words, I have a feeling that perhaps they stayed here, but maybe under a different name, because they had done something for society. They had done something for themselves. And I think that's where we're failing. When you look at the House of Refuge, which used to be down on South Avenue, or actually later on up by one of the old high schools up in the center of the city, when you look at what the women's movement did here with the House of the Friendless, which was an area that basically took women that were prostitutes and turned them into domestic women. And not only that, but found them good husbands. And these women stayed here later on, raising their own families, who became the industrialists who brought this city. What I'm talking about is rehabilitation. Great idea. But the question is, where do we take it next? And as a legislative body, as a public safety committee, what kind of policy do you, in coordination, ask the administration to look into that's going to take these people from drawing pictures and playing music into fully productive citizens? I think that falls upon a legislative body to consider, and I would petition you to consider this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gregory. Is there anyone this evening who would like to address the committee? Seeing none, we will move on. The next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. You have the September 26, 2011 minutes before you. They'll stand approved unless the clerk is notified of any changes by the end of the day. Next item is new business.
Referral 11-232, authorize.
Moved by Legislator Draw, seconded by Legislator McCann. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral 11-233, authorize.
Moved by Legislator McCann, seconded by Legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Item carries.
Referral 11-234, authorize.
Moved by Legislator Yolovich, seconded by Legislator Antelli. Is there any discussion? Legislator Eckel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through the chair to the administration. Are child care centers required to have an emergency plan?
Through the chair, I believe, and I can confirm this, but I believe that there has been a recent mandate from New York State requiring that child care centers do develop plans.
Do develop emergency plans of some
Through the
sort?
chair, yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, item carries. Next item.
Referral 11-235.
Moved by legislator Antelli, seconded by legislator Draw. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, item carries. Next item.
Referral 11-236.
Moved by legislator Draw, seconded by legislator McCann. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, item carries.
Referral 11-237. Acceptance
Moved
of a
by
grant.
legislator McCann, seconded by legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, item carries. Are there any other matters to come before the committee this evening? Seeing none, the October 24th, 2011 meeting of the Public Safety Committee now stands adjourned. The next meeting of the Public Safety Committee will be held on November 28th, 2011 at 5 p.m.